Oh boy. Ooh. How do you feel about that one, Matsy?
It's a spicy take. I can't lie. It's a real spicy take. You know what? If they can catch him in the webs there, maybe it could be. You know, maybe that could be the counter there.
Hey, I mean, Sentinels pulled out the Iron Man Penny Parker. We saw that before. Oh, no.
There's no way. Damn,
N1HEX?
What have you brought us, Dad?
I don't know. I think N1HEX are going the, let's take away as many options from Sungjaku as possible.
It's gonna crash out!
Yeah, I'm gonna crash out. I don't like this. XOXO. You're gonna go for the Gambit here, right? Or else, something else? Nope, they're gonna go for the Dino. Okay, N1HEX still have another chance. Okay, we're not gonna crash out just yet. But if that second save from XO does in fact being the Gambit, bad things will happen. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. Not every band draft gets to a point where the first save goes to the opposing team. Some teams really prioritize the Devil Dino, and some teams have been doing just that, right? Saving the Gambit ban for a later moment so that when XO want to think about saving either the Devil Dino or the Black Cat, they won't have access to figuring out if Black Cat's the better option, because quite frankly, it was already banned out. XOXO really want to keep this rush/dive ideology intact by making sure that Songjak Woo, at the very least, will have access to that Daredevil.
Yeah, going to be able to play into the second of the two evils in this sense between the Black Cat and the Daredevil, but we do see the majority of all the same banned out there. You know, Luna's out of play, Mantis, Gambit eventually, Black Cat taken out. Rocket could be the protect here for N1HEX. It will be. Could be maybe something else taken away from them here. Could be a double-sided Black Cat if XO want to have a bit of fun with it. But I think they might set their sights elsewhere.
See about that, because N1HEX will get security on making sure that they have the Rocket Raccoon. Great response coming in from XO to take away the Phoenix. So that win condition is already out the window. So that when XO want to run the Rocket Raccoon, keep in mind, it's also open on their end. So if they run the Rocket Raccoon, they won't have to deal with the Phoenix just completely one-shotting the CYA with a good placed Endsong Inferno.
Yeah, good placed Endsong Inferno should be able to just burn its way through, right? It should be able to shut down that ultimate with almost an immediate effect there. So very keen to see what they can bring forth now, as Felix is going to be hovering the Angela. Okay. Don't see Angela every day, but it has been seeing a little bit of play coming forward into the servers now. And looks like our teams are having a bit of a dance in spawn there. Love to see a bit of a dance off. You know, if there's no Luna, you got to make your own dance party, don't you?
How are XO going to build this composition? Right now, they only have one strategist. If Felix is rolling out on the Angela, XO effectively only have one strategist. There's no shot that XO roll out like this. N1HEX definitely look to be more in line with what we saw, especially in that past series, putting the win condition right on NRX and XLOUD to sync up their ultimates in tandem with each other. Okay, Felix does switch over to the White Fox, so we will run a more traditional form of composition, but XO, they are very, very aggressive in terms of what composition they want to run, right? JT3 on the Devil Dino can play front to back, can also just dive right in, rush everyone of N1HEX down, as Zeta and Songjak Woo are going to be the main focus points in terms of making the dive work.
Yeah, looking to make it work in a big way here. We'll see. Again, push it in flames. NRX takes to the skies there. Louis can rise up as well. Mission area now going to be locked in. XO had a sliver of progression. Forced it back though. Songjak Woo in a bit of trouble. So back for the time being, but N1HEX, they're taking a bit of punishment as well. XO propelled the damage towards them. NRX almost going to be shut out here, but everyone's doing a good job to sustain through the neutral thus far. Winsko almost the first to fall, but everybody is refusing to really give up any ground. Alone Shields, though, does open up the charge.
Yep, XO easily take control off a single pick, and now we go into the phase 1.5 step, right? XO just try to find the staggers, try to find a way to extend this lead. Great charms coming in from Felix as well to try to catch anyone caught lacking, as the rest of N1HEX, they're just gonna reset. They're not gonna make any hero changes at the very least. So right now, XO, great first win, because if N1HEX took control of this, they could have easily extended their lead with a well-placed CYA into the Galactic Legend. Because EXO doing a good job so far, and N1HEX with access to the N-Song Inferno could easily shut that win con down. And N1HEX are probably just gonna have to wait another day because they've already burned the BRB. They got one person, and now EXO have a man advantage.
Looking to take a further advantage. He's going to be able to trade it back though, twofold for M1HEX. So we're going to break her back into this one and see if they can force away EXO as far as possible, as fast as possible. We'll be able to reel things down slowly but certainly there. So those staggers are going to be staggers towards EXO. The Kumio Unleashed though does allow them to sustain a bit longer, play towards that further progression there. But they're looking to just drown out their ult. They're playing it slow and steady here. The CYA is going to be good. They're trying to belt through it. They will find success there. N-Song Inferno eventually going to be falling down as well. But EXO, by all accounts, are just managing to find the lead here.
Yeah, it's just win condition after win condition. I thought N1HEX was going to crash down in tandem with the CYA, but he waited until the CYA was burned out. Not sure if that was the intention coming in from XO1. Maybe they weren't confident to go for those guaranteed one-shot potentials. But EXO thankfully did have the win condition with Zeta on the Freedom Charge, Sungjuk Woo on the Devil Out, as N1HEX kind of just quietly gets a Quadra and will complete the shutout.
Yeah,
wow.
Just,
there you go.
You know, having a little stroll or walk on the beach there, just casually get a quad KO. Why not? They're going to be enjoying the show for sure on that one, and that is going to be the Eldritch Monument locked in real quick. And moving on, moving in, it's the next objective now, and I don't know, do N1HEX change things up? They've got X-Lyle on the Loki there, so maybe you can dial in with that one, but it's a tough situation they're placed in because they did have some moments where things looked pretty good for them, but they just weren't able to turn things around.
I mean, EXO were just able to stall perfectly. I got a little worried that Felix was going to burst it through the Kumio Unleash, but N1HEX just weren't able to just output enough damage to the point that Felix had to get thrown out of the Kumio Unleash early, have him getting one-tapped, and then N1HEX could have facilitated the retake, but at the very least, EXO just had so many different options in terms of stall. Ace with the CYA sustaining the team, and once that's gone, Zeta and Sungjuk Woo kind of just go in with the knockout blow. And now N1HEX making a lot of adjustments here. X-Lyle, very bold move to run the Loki in this two-strategist composition with the Rocket Raccoon. Because quite frankly, if X-Lyle wants to copy a strategist, his only reliable option is either Winsger on the Rocket Raccoon, and maybe if he gets an angle, Felix on the Kumio Unleash. Both aren't the greatest if you want that consistent healing output as oh my goodness, Louis, how are you alive at 3 HP?
I think that they're in another life, maybe the Silver Surfer. I think they are just absolutely navigating these maps to success there. Doing insane work, that's all I can say, but they're going to be able to sustain through for now, and we're going to bring up more. The battle will be old, so it could be coming to a head in a second though, because N1HEX can go first if they want to burst to action. Zeta are pretty close to going down as well. Will be brought back up, but it's time to bring out the Stampede here. Devil Beast Rampage from the Spooky, and ready to shut down Zeta. Good with the BRB though, so they're still going to be back in the fight. Sungjuk Woo not so lucky though, so N1HEX will break through, get that early control in their favor, and they're not done yet. They're trying to force them back here. See if they can manage it.
Lots of rushdown potential coming in from N1HEX. Both sides are going to use their CYAs, but N1HEX holds on to his N-Song Inferno. Thankfully is able to find some members of N1HEX, both NRX with the final judgment, is able to laser down Zeta, finally put him to rest. No BRB will save him this time around, as N1HEX just wants to try to pepper down some of their damage. Oh my goodness, you are in a world of hurt, Blaziken, because you have a giant fox whacking away at your body as Louis pops the Galactic Legend. Felix is able to help out and sustain the rest of XO, but with X-Lyle going down with the God of Mischief available, N1HEX are just going to crumble.
Crumble and stumble their way in, and EXO will be able to lock in the flip when it counted there. So, gonna be happy with that one. Playing the tight angle as well, trying to scout ahead, strangle in a bit more charge, while N1HEX tries their best to push their way forward, but the map is transforming around them as well. So they're gonna be right at the edge of the cave for free here. Be happy with that, but it's damage pelted through by Lonefield there for free. That's huge. CYA coming out from X. Lyle, though, got Louis. Going to be able to shut down JT3 all the meanwhile. So that's going to be great for N1HEX here. XO need to play a bit more cautiously. Try and sustain through with the devil in their hands. Maybe they can push through. Regeneration domain, though, allows them to bring some pain here.
Great shotgun shots coming in from NRX, shutting down the devil out. Surprised that EXO didn't synergize it together, right? Songjae with the devil out could have easily used the overshield from Zeta to, at the very least, guarantee a lot of pressure, a lot of that map space. But N1HEX are definitely putting up a decent fight here. Rampage coming in from D-Spooky is going to provide that space. Good fight onto Felix. Forces out the TP coming out of the white box. And now N1HEX just rush him down.
Rush him down and brush it in. They will be looking to do more. Ace going to be able to bring it out with the CYA, though, in combination with the end song there. Not going to be able to break in a KO. Windscar does respond back in kind with the CYF. Their own D-Spooky, though, are going to be the first to fall there. So good to stall it out on that one. Traded onto a lone field. Back into the fight, though. Good with the VRP. NRX, though, injecting so much damage. And now more. The final judgment is on the floor here. Burning down Zeta and looking to seek out control for N1HEX. So the sustain's still coming through. They're tapping onto the mission area. Songjae Woo really fighting for that extra slither of percentage. And you know what? In the long scheme of things, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's very, very worth it. Songjae Woo doing a good job squeaking out a little bit more percentage points. There's a world EXO could have settled at 80%, but will get themselves up to 89. So when it comes to EXO completing retakes and going for Final Fight territory, N1HEX are going to have even less room in order to try to trigger OT, or at the very least get a portal down. But EXO need to overcome this problem of how can they break through N1HEX. They have the Loki copy. They could easily synergize it with Louis on the Galactic Legend. So can EXO sustain this, as already the green's going to be burned out by Songjae Woo?
Oh, and Songjae Woo going to be burned out with Ace there as well. So Songjae Woo's back online at the minimum. Alone feels not so lucky though, so it'll be a bit troublesome for EXO onto this one. Might be forced into a portal here. Ace has already switched onto that Vanguard. Strange coming in. Ready to try and spin it to fruition. Gumio unleashed to try and sustain through as well. CYA coming out with a God of Mischief there. Blazerkin in a bit of trouble as well. But EXO, we're going to fight this one out. I love how Zeta's just tiptoeing on the mission area. Saying, peekaboo, yeah. I see you.
Yeah, will at the very least guarantee overtime. JT3 will retain himself onto the site. Songjae Woo now lets the devil out, rips apart the backline. No chance for Windsgar to save him with the CYA. Not even a damage boost could help him out there. EXO just rush him down with the Freedom Charge in tandem with the Stampede, as all of EXO just run right over N1HEX. And surely they will be able to facilitate a retake. But with how N1HEX are getting staggered out and stalling, that will give enough room for N1HEX to get a second chance here with this portal play.
And this is going to be at a crucial time. It all comes out now. NRX trying to lead the charge there. Luckily forced back though. They don't want to have the Punisher at the front. X-Lyle though will be dialed down. So going to be a good beginning from Ace onto this one. NRX in a bit of trouble. If they can just get Final Judgment, it would be exactly what they need. Agamotto stops them in their tracks though. They're not going to be able to charge up in time, but they will get the rocket through, but it's sucking it out. EXO lock it down for the first capture point in Hell's Heaven.
N1HEX are doing a great job throughout the entire round to try to expose the timings of EXO. EXO went for the win condition with the Ensong Inferno into the CYA, but because they were using that Phoenix ult aggressively, it gave a lot of room for N1HEX to rely on the CYA of their own. Maybe through the copy, maybe through the rocket himself, but either way, EXO somehow find a way to navigate around it. Great looks in that final fight as well, making sure that even if N1HEX found a way to come back, there was just no chance because N1HEX had a lot of tools at their disposal, right? With the Loki greens to try to bring themselves through the portal safely. They even had Louis going over to the Adam Warlock in order to use the Soul Bond so that they have even more safety of jumping through the portal, but it was just not enough. EXO, with a single rushdown, we're just able to cleanly take over map number 1. And so far, this is what we expected coming from EXO, right? Doing what they do best, going for the dives, get as aggressive as possible, whereas N1HEX, you gotta give props to them for, at the very least, making it competitive in round number 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed the change of pace there. You know, I was really impressed with how NRX was able to play into the Punisher as well there to clear a bit of space. You'd see that pseudo role fulfilled by a Star-Lord, but, you know, not looking to play in that direction this time. It'll be a bit unfortunate for them, but they at least make good usage of the final judgment and more in kind. EXO not going to be left behind though. You know, they managed to push into it with a lot of pressure. I think that the biggest part of their success was just their sustainability though, right? Because even if N1HEX managed to find the better end of fights, EXO just managed to be so sneaky, you know? They were just like sneaking around the mission area, tiptoeing through, playing peekaboo like we saw before. It was just so impressive how they always had the long game at heart there, playing for extra progress and just looking to, always do the best they can.
And it wasn't just utilizing cover, right? It was also the fact that EXO just knew what ultimates they wanted to use in tandem with using the map to their advantage, weaving in and out of those corners, using the cover to their advantage to shield themselves from as much damage as possible, while also applying all that pressure onto N1HEX. Now the ball is in N1HEX's court in order to figure out what map they want to go for. We'll see what N1HEX decide to go for. Is it going to be something that we've been seeing before? Or are we going to see something a little bit more spicier, like what we saw with the Midtown pick coming in that first best of 3? So we'll figure that out after this break. So we'll be right back.
Fortune. You crossed my path! Gotcha!
Hellfire!
Well, I can't say it was the best showcase early on for N1HEX, but they did show signs of life. It's just that even if you ban out the Black Hack, Sunjuk Woo is looking good on any of the brawlers. That Daredevil, even though his stocks have gone just down a tiny bit into stage 1, he's still looking pretty dang good on pretty much anything that you could rock with him. But I want to bring up one point that Dan had right before we went to the break. What map would you take EXO against after losing the first map? Because right now, the way it's gone out, boys, is that I did some deep digging and I found out the math here. N1HEX, when they lost against Reject, they took them, map 2, the Museum of Contemplation. But against AAAD, it went Yggdrasil. Now, most teams, when they lose map 1 against XOXO, love to take EXO to Museum, but they have never lost on that map, at least in stage 1. But we go to Yggdrasil instead, so we don't have to worry about Museum. But is N1HEX gonna fall into the same mud trap as AAAD?
It's just a big question of how well N1HEX can facilitate their push. We know that N1HEX, they have chosen the attacking side, so all eyes are on N1HEX at the current moment in order to figure out the team comp that they want to run with and try to make sure that they are able to out-tempo XOXO1. Do N1HEX want to go a more aggressive approach in terms of making space, facilitating dives, whereas does XOXO do the same thing right back at them? N1HEX, I wouldn't be surprised if they prioritize stuff that provides them early tempo, most notably being that Deadpool.
The plot thickens. We did see some counterplay come out in the second point of Hell's Heaven. We saw the double hit scan come out from N1HEX, and I thought that was a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I liked it as well. I liked the fact that they were trying to play into the Punisher there. We saw the Punisher find a lot of success into some of the games yesterday as well. You know, I think that those final judgments are, like I was talking about before, a really great way to clear space there and just try and wipe out your enemies. But the problem is, if they're able to bring out those evasive maneuvers there, use the landscapes to their advantage to avoid the line of sight, it's basically just going to turn into an ultimate to stall time there. So you really have to try and find the best case situations to make the most of the kits that you have afforded to you.
Well, we're moments away until we get into our next matchup. It's going to be Yggdrasil, and big question before we get into that, I'm going to start with you, Dan. Do we think the one-sided Phoenix is going to skate by again? Can XOXO use that as their big advantage?
That could be one of those adjustments that N1HEX go for. Maybe it's focus on the Phoenix more than things like Sungjuk Woo's a hero pool, right? Sungjuk Woo has been cooking on the Black Cat. He's done very well in the Daredevil. At this point, you just kind of let him be, right? You just let him do his thing. N1HEX, however, could look to figure out, should they take away the Phoenix? Should they take away some other hit scan options? Because right now, looking at XOXO1's roster, we talked about Sungjuk Woo having that deep hero pool, but there's a second person. Alone Fills is just as flexible. So it's a big question mark in terms of what N1HEX want to prioritize in this ban draft. And so far, that Black Cat will relatively stay consistent.
Yeah, going to be staying consistent into the draft this time and looking to ban away the Mantis. So we could see it go the exact same way, but I mean, if EXO want to have a bit of fun with it, they could just protect the Gambit. But I think that this is kind of a bait play that N1HEX are trying to play them into, and EXO aren't biting at all. Like, they don't care. They're happy to play around no Gambit or single-sided Gambit, whatever they need to do. They're more than comfortable.
We talk about how dominant Gambit is, right? With the Raging Royal Flush being able to rush him down. There are some caveats to it, right? Being able to get to that point is very, very difficult. Gambit's ultimate has a very high energy cost compared to some other strategist ultimates, like the Rocket Raccoon, that could also easily rush you down as well. Because there's a world, right, where if a Rocket is able to get 2 ults down and get value, the other team, if they do have that Gambit, are only going to get value a single time because of how fast that Rocket ultimate comes back up. So XO, though, really want to prioritize the rush down here by securing the Ultron save, something very uncommon throughout all of Ignite.
And I guess it makes a lot of sense coming into a map like Yggdrasil Path, right? Because you have a lot of open space in the air there. They can look to bring down a lot of pain with the Rage of Ultron there. And yeah, really just dish out a lot to serve through. But I think that it's going to be pretty tough for them. They have to play their angles to a T, because otherwise the Devil Dinosaur is just going to whip them out of the sky, and that will be that. So yeah, curious how EXO are going to be able to adapt around this. I think that they should be pretty comfortable though, even regardless of having the Devil Dinosaur to face off. And N1HEX now, we're going to get the Protect on to the Rocket, so going to be happy with that. EXO can play one and the same though. They're going to be A-OK. One more ban for them. Who will go? Ooh, Black Cat maybe.
Yeah, they're going to target Louis on the Black Cat. Louis has been quietly doing a lot of work as well, right, on N1HEX, especially during Eldritch Monument, being able to find some of those necessary picks back in map number 1. And XL, knowing that they really want to find a way to out-sustain N1HEX, they're just going to take that option away so that when N1HEX do want to go for the dive, it's likely going to be looking towards the Daredevil. But N1HEX definitely want to try and make sure that they have their win conditions locked in and ready to go, right? Exile on the Rocket Raccoon. It looks like Louis is going to man the Star-Lord here, so we'll see how N1HEX decide to use that win condition at the current moment, because XO will have ways to win out against N1HEX by having a lot of that sustain with triple strategists, right? Ace on the Ultron, Felix on the Luna Snow, and then Sungjuk Woo utilizing the Rocket Raccoon, so that even if XO do go down, they will have one more life. So if, at the very least, XO will have resources in order to stay alive and extend those fights. And then Zeta, we know his Groot is absolutely goated, so I'm sure he'll get multi-man knockouts somehow, some way.
Oh yeah, they're going to be getting some insane KOs. Like, I can already see the combinations coming in place here. You know, they get Strangling Prison. They have the Rage of Ultron at the ready, maybe even the Galactic Legend there from Alone Fields. Like, there's a lot of ways that they can kind of style this together. And I think having Zatha on the Groot as well is good, especially considering NRX is looking to focus up around that Punisher there, clear space once again with the Final Judgment, as well as having Louis there on the Star-Lord. So being able to put those walls between you and your enemies is also going to help minimize those lines of sight there, you know, give yourselves those second more sustainability into fights. So it's good that they're, I guess, playing the long game there. They can utilize the body barrier as well on JT3,
Yep.
so yeah, there's a lot that they can do here to try and adapt around the composition that N1HEX is trying to bring.
There's just a sheer amount of DPS, right? Coming out of NRX and Louis being able to potentially burst through strategist ultimates, right? Because Felix, even though the Luna Snow is very, very strong in terms of that healing output during the Fate of Both Worlds, we have seen teams be able to burst through it, whether it be through certain lockdowns, certain burst potentials, and this mostly it was just team coordination. Everyone just literally shouts Luna, 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 and they just try to burst her down as soon as possible. And we've seen that happen not just here in Asia, but like I feel like throughout all of Ignite as well, just finding ways to get that burst down, because quite frankly it is a very, very tough task to do. And as teams are starting to lock that strategy down, being able to shut down Fate of Both Worlds more and more reliably, we may see a little bit more of that evolution coming in as the game progresses on in its lifespan.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be interesting to see how every team approaches the rest of the game's lifespan, right? Looking into the near future in Season 8.5, you know, I think that there's going to be a lot of changes to consider there, especially having Cyclops at the ready. It's going to be a whole different game in some ways. I'm curious what role they'll end up on and how the game may transform with some of the team-ups and everything there beyond. Curious if some of the team-ups which have been in the game since literally the game's birth will be ever changed. You know, I'm looking at you, Groot, or I'm looking at you, Rocket and Jeff.
I think that might be one of the only remaining what is it? One of the remaining team-ups in the game. I think Fastball has been there since the very beginning as well. If my memory serves me well, I don't remember exactly for sure, but either way, if anyone is tuning in, we are slowly but surely getting our way into map number 2 between XOXO01 and N1HEX. Currently, XO are up 1 map over N1HEX, but going into Yggdrasil, we will see how map 2 decides to shake out here, as soon enough, we'll get right back into it. Apologies for the pause, ladies and gentlemen, but we're just right back. We're so back.
Oh yeah, we are so back. So let's see how we crack into this game, everybody, as we are going to be jumping into the fight right now, jumping into the game. Take aim at this one. We are getting loud and proud and ready to jump into action here, everybody.
Looks about expected coming in from N1HEX, right? Blaziken running the Vanguard Deadpool. I did say before we got into this map, right? N1HEX need to come in with a lot of tempo. And so far, Blaziken being able to, at the very least, get the Banhammer online to provide extra pressure onto XO's backline will mean so much for N1HEX in terms of getting that room. And then Louis on the Moon Knight means that his Hana Khonshu will provide even more of that pressure. But XOXO1 are not budging, at least in this first corner.
Yeah, not looking to give much space so far. Still just going to be holding down the initial choke point onto this one. So, keen, curious. See what else they can dial into. As the Banhammer will be coming down early. And things get a bit curly there as Alone Fields shuts down Louis. So, great start coming out from their side here. And going to see if they can turn it up a notch as well. Oh, I love that immediate focus shift there from Zatha. Spotting out Blaziken, and they will fire away. So, good KO coming out of play there. Going to be shutting down N1HEX in a little bit here, but they still have to figure out more. And they do have that Strangling Prison available now, Dan. Things are getting worrisome here.
Oh, yeah, it's just a matter of how well Zatha times it, right? N1HEX, they do have counter options available, especially with Rocket Ultimate, but Zatha is just better. Rage of Ultron right into the huge crowd that Zatha does. One big hug is all it takes for Ace to shoot them all down, and N1HEX's win condition kind of just goes up in smoke.
goes up in smoke and not looking to give anything more from here. So EXO looking focused up on the defensive side. Do have a few ults that they can rely upon if they need to sustain through this. Stampede at the ready soon as well from JT3 there, so everything should be good. But NRX is going to be a good condition there to try and play around that final judgment. If they need to clear this first choke point, that could be the exact answer. Going to be trading ult for ult right now, though. Galactic Legend is out for the final judgment into this one. Dance floor going to be traded out, but N1HEX have managed to find an opening here. Felix still holding on through this one, somehow sustaining through with the dance floor there. So EXO good for the moment, trying their best to stall out the mission area. And a Gotchu coming out though to clear the space. Zatha now, we're going to bring out the portal as well from a distance. Here's EXO, trying their best to dial back into the fight, but it could be lights out in a second here.
Ooh, it's gonna get so close. 1 meter is all it takes before the point goes over to the checkpoint, but at the very least, there are some sustained options. Ace is able to find Louis. Soulbond going to be available to bring EXO through the portal set relatively safely, and so far it's getting so much value as 2 already go down.
2 go down and more come back up here. Let's see if they are going to be able to catch one last fight into this one, Dan, as they got the banhammer at the ready for N1HEX right now. But I love the focus from EXO. They've got the Atom. If they're playing the long game into what could be the final minute here, that Karmic Revival could come out in a big way. Playing around it with the BRB there is going to be huge for them.
And it's great timing as well, using the Soul Bond so that everyone on EXO are able to go to the portal safely. It means that EXO will give themselves a second chance in this fight. N1HEX still struggling to get to that first checkpoint, and with 30 seconds left, there's a chance that this is final fight territory.
Yeah, the final stand could be right here, right now, but for the moment, we are going to be getting right into it. CYA almost at the ready here. Louis going to be able to find Sungjok Woo, though. CYA coming up. Louis goes down, so trading out blow for blow here. Zatha getting close to the Agamotto. Not going to be able to bring it out in time, though. Ace, they need to charge, but they won't be able to get it. So they will get the checkpoint, and they will get a KO on the fadeaway there, but I don't know if they're going to be too happy with that one, Dan.
Yeah, EXO at the very least are able to somewhat regroup. Okay, never mind. Louis is just there to just hit the ricochets down and just extend the stagger for EXO, as EXO, it feels like they're just getting out-tempoed here. N1HEX are providing so much of that pressure, so much of that ultimate uptime with Blaziken on the Banhammer, Louis on the hand of Khonshu, is just giving so much space for N1HEX. EXO did have a great fight going in through the portal, but that was about it. Oh my god, what a freeze.
Yeah, what a freeze for the ages there. Going to be ready for the next set of engages as the moon comes down, and we're going to clear them out, but the dance floor will be pumped with Stampede. Devil Beast Rampage coming at you from D-Spooky. Lyle in a bit of trouble here. Bursted through. Alone fulfills their obligation, and looking for another round the side here. You have the Galactic Legend. It won't be activating though. They're forced out the dance floor. They've caught Louis on the meanwhile. JT3 traded out. Doesn't even matter. Karmic Revival keeps EXO into this fight right now. Ace finding grace there, and Sungjok Woo pulling through. So EXO will be able to get the better end of this fight for the time being. N1HEX though are doing a grand job to sustain through. Maybe not by long. Straggling Britain from downtown. It's the Zatha show again.
How does Zatha keep getting away with this? Every single time he has whipped out the Groot, he has gotten at least 2 or 3 members of the enemy team. I mean, it's mainly because N1HEX, they're not running more of those shield vanguards, right? Blaziken's best option is to use the bubble to keep himself alive. D-Spooky also has a bubble of his own, but that's all N1HEX can rely on. And if Zatha is able to expose the timing of the cooldown of those abilities, EXO could just easily run them over. Alonfo's going to take to the skies with the Galactic Legend, however, as he's just able to laser everyone down. There is no response from N1HEX. No one has any sort of ultimates to shut it down. And then Felix is just there to completely shut down the retreat.
Oh, you love to see it. Our damage Lunas managing to pull through there. Will be able to disparage N1HEX's forces further. They will be looking to pull ahead with the hand of Khonshu there. Stampede coming around the side. CYA trying to propel them back, but it's just not enough to counterattack onto this one. They won't be able to stall the mission vehicle out in time there. and it will be a successful defense coming out for EXO.
Good transition, going from trying to extend the staggers into trying to put pressure so that if Blaziken wanted to use the portal, he was going to be under a lot of pressure from EXO. Either it be the Luna Freeze, whether it be any sort of damage coming onto the Doctor Strange, N1HEX had to navigate around it. And just from that pressure alone, Blaziken had to spend a few more extra seconds to reposition his portal so that he is able to, at the very least, get it channeled. But unfortunately, just that second of reposition was all it took for EXO to not even have to worry about a portal coming in and will avoid overtime. So now, N1HEX, they at least have a little bit of a buffer to work with. We're able to get to the first checkpoint and a little bit past it. But EXO, they should have no problem in securing it. It's just a matter of N1HEX. How did they decide to play the defense? They will use the BRB once again, but with a triple strategist lineup, they should have enough sustain to, at the very least, keep EXO at bay. But again, win condition is all it matters. N1HEX do have the combo with the Rocket Raccoon and the Star-Lord Ultimates teaming up together, but EXO, they're going in guns blazing, literally.
Yeah, they've switched off into the Punisher here and
Oh
can
my-
combine.
okay.
Oh my god! Okay, Alone Feels is just gonna absolutely farm there, already forcing out the BRB onto Windscar. That's just insane, Dan. It looks like they're looking to shred their way through this first choke point here. They've already forced M1HEX off the line onto this one, so they should be able to push up the mission vehicle nice and close by. No one is contending with them, and Alone Feels is just locked in on this damage right now. The closer they get to the final judgment there, the more assurance they have that they can secure this first checkpoint.
Exile is stacking his ultimate very, very quickly, already at 65% and counting. If Exile is able to get the CYA down, N1HEX will give a lot of room to themselves, force away EXO for a little bit. But EXO just has so many different ways to take over this first checkpoint, right? Alone Feels with the final judgment is going to be the biggest focus here. Felix could easily team up with the Fate of Both Worlds aggressively, but then again, if that doesn't work out, you've got Zeta on the Groot, and if we know anything from Zeta, we can count on him to get some clutch strangling prisons, but he's going to get wiped out, but will be brought right back.
Brought right back and ready to attack here. Felix does have the dance for in a second if they need something to sustain through the Galactic Legends here, but they're just going to be playing lines of sight onto this one. They caught Ace, and that's all they're really going to get. Dance floor coming out now, though. Could be a problem. Windscar could be the freeze there, escaping the wrath of JT3, but all the same, they will shut down Blaziken and get that first checkpoint. So N1HEX going to be in a bit of struggle now, losing members left and right. They're getting staggered down. This could be worst case scenario. It's bad to worse. They're bursting ahead of this one. EXO have all the ults they need. They're just looking to force N1HEX out of the fight.
This is looking so doomed. Thankfully, Windscar is able to find the exit trade onto Felix, but Felix doesn't have the Fate of Both Worlds. Thankfully, he's able to be brought right back. So EXO will still be a 6-man strong, but look at all the ultimates on EXO. A single ultim easily ends this fight. I feel like Windscar might not even be able to out-sustain because everyone on EXO are looking to try to shut it down, but thankfully they're able to weather Zeta's strangling prison.
Yeah, looking to shut it down and see if they can go to town on this one. Every ult they possibly need allows them to speed past, clear the space, and that is going to be map series done and dusted for XOXO. GG, well played!
And that's the problem with the 2 win conditions online for EXO. N1HEX were able to survive the first win condition, but then there is the second ones. Final Judgment into the CYA. No one had any response. No one had any sort of way to counter it because they had to use the Fate of Both Worlds on their end to survive that very strangling prison. So once that expires, Alone Feels just pops ult. Sungjuk teams up with it. Ace even there to provide some of that extra firepower, and it was all it took. A single well-timed ult dump was enough for EXO to get themselves over the line, and N1HEX just did not have anything to respond.
Yeah, they had no other assurances, no other responses there. You know, they tried to adapt around it, but it just wasn't enough. So EXO performing valiantly there, showing their prowess once again into another series that will be able to further solidify their placement at the top of the pecking order there. So N1HEX, fortunate this time around, but doesn't mean it's going to be the end of the road for them. You know, there's always going to be other opportunities into this group stage.
It does also beg the question, right? How long does it take until Zeta gets targeted? How long? There's just too many things that you have to focus on in the XOXO camp, right? N1HEX are just getting dizzy in terms of, hey, who do we ban? Because quite frankly, you can't ban out Sungjuk Woo. His hero pool is insane. Alone Phil's also has a very deep hero pool, so he is very, very hard to ban out. The best thing you could do to shut down Alone Phil's is taking away those hit scan options, like the Phoenix, like the Star-Lord, but it's just too much stuff, because if you focus on Sungjuk Woo or on Alone Phil's, Zeta gets whatever he wants, Felix can play whatever, Ace can also do whatever, so if the ban draft doesn't matter, XO just have way too many tools at their disposal.
Yeah, so what's the solution? How do you defeat XOXO when they seem to be the most versatile team in Asia?
At this point, you just beg for more bans.
Okay, we'll have to talk to John Marvel for that. I mean, you know, the big question is, right, like, XOXO, statistically speaking, is at the top of Stage 1. Reject, they won Stage 2. They won preseason. They are looking pretty good, too. We're going to have to wait until June 6th for them to face off against each other. But don't worry about that, though. Your interview is just about ready. Ring, ring. Who do we have on the line? Oh, hello, Sungjuk Woo. It's good to see you again.
Hello, guys. Hello, yeah.
Look, at this point, you're the honorary fourth person on the desk, man. We've interviewed you so many times. So, I mean, look, talk to us about this matchup, right? Because N1HEX, we know they've gotten better from preseason to now, but you guys have just exponentially gotten better, too. What would the way to be to ban you guys out? Because your hero pool is insane, personally.
To be honest, I don't know too. Like, I mean, just hope for the best, I guess. Like, yeah.
It's just tough. It's hard to generate questions, right? Figuring out
we've interviewed you so many times.
Yeah, I feel like we've just like exhausted like our entire list as we get deeper and deeper, right? Well, right here, right? How has the communication been lately, right? It's been a little bit of that language barrier. I know you guys are commenting in English for the most part. How has things been worked on so far as we navigate throughout Stage 1?
Yes, the communication was like JT he's good at English, so he's kind of like understand us like a lot. But Felix, like sometimes we just gotta like repeat like our calls like a lot, because like he's like can't really understand that much. But yeah, like most of but overall it's like okay, yeah.
Love to hear the improvement for you guys over time. And I guess heading in another direction here, if you guys end up, you know, finishing at the top of the group stage at the end of this one, and let alone if you win out the whole of the pack playoffs there, do you think we could see a change up in your background? Do you think we could see a framed XO jersey on your wall?
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think so, because like you got no money for that.
Hey, that's where the winnings
Sign
come in.
this team, Orgs. Sign this team.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, I think the name XOXO is so cool. Like, it would stink to lose that if you got signed. But at the cost of getting money, like, I think that is a pretty good cost. But I guess for my last question, right? Like, so far, XOXO has completely exploded when it comes to your placements inside of Stage 1. You guys look incredible. The only other team that we've seen be at your caliber, at least for the first few days, has been Reject. And you guys won't be facing against each other for about a week. Are you taking the most time to figure out how to defeat Reject more than any other team in this region?
Yeah, we are absolutely. Like, of course, they are like the most like strongest team in this region. Yeah, and we scream more a lot, like to like find a way like to beat them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Sunjuk Woo, man, I'm not gonna keep you much longer. We're gonna have to clearly go more and generate more questions behind the scenes because we're gonna be interviewing you a whole lot more often, man.
Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sunjuk Woo.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, guys.